Welcome back to the Main Street Money Show podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Holmes. And today, in just a few minutes, we're diving into something that every adult or functioning person needs to think about. What is it? Basic estate planning, wills, power of attorneys, all that fun legal jargon. And we're going to talk about what it is. It's not only for the ultra wealthy. Mansions, private jets, maybe you don't have any of those, maybe you don't have a massive stock portfolio, but here's the truth. Estate planning is for everyone, no matter your income, your assets, or your stage of life. So at its core, estate planning simply means you're making decisions today about what's going to happen if you pass away, either premeditated, you knew it was coming, or ultimately just completely out of the blue. We got a plan for both case scenarios because ultimately we don't know what's going to happen. It's not just about death. It's also about if you're unable to manage your own affairs. But really, at its core, it's about protecting your loved ones, protecting your wishes, and protecting those around you from having to go fumble through all of the drawers of papers and documents and try to figure out what's what. Do yourself and your loved ones a favor. Let's try to get these things in place. What are those pieces, documents? Number one, we're going to talk about it's a will. So what is a will? This is your roadmap. It tells the courts and your family who gets what when you're gone. If you've got minor children, your will is also where you're going to name guardians at, or people you trust to raise your kids if you can't. So ultimately, without a will, the state decides who inherits your stuff, and it might not be who you would have chosen. Maybe you don't want your brother-in-law managing your kids' affairs. Maybe it's your mother-in-law. Maybe it's your sister-in-law that you don't want. But realize this, not taking action and not handling estate planning, it's still an action. It's just you're taking non-action. So what do I mean by that? I mean, let's just say you don't want to go and sign up for a prenup. Well, you still signed up for a prenup because you let the state determine what is going to happen if you were to get divorced. So you got to think about it like this. Even though there might not be something that is just super pressing you right now, you might not ever have that urge to go and take action at that point in time, and it's too late. So we got to make sure that you get the right people in place doing the right duties and executing the right actions in which you're going to dictate those in these legal documents. So the second one, outside of a will, you got the durable power of attorney. So if you're ever incapacitated, let's just say for an accident or an illness, this document is going to give someone that you trust the authority to handle your financial matters. They're going to pay your bills, manage your investments. Maybe they even make business decisions if you opt into that. But ultimately, without it, your family might have to go to court just to get permission to do things. That is what we want to avoid. So healthcare directives, that's going to be something along the lines of your healthcare power of attorney and a will. But together, they make sure your healthcare wishes are followed if you cannot speak for yourself. So they're going to appoint someone to make medical decisions on your behalf. But those are the basics. Of course, your situation might call for additional steps. Maybe you need a trust, advanced tax planning, business succession planning, but these three documents are the foundation for pretty much everybody. So if you are a business owner, there's multiple steps that you need to take outside of just someone that is preparing for their final stage of life. If you are a parent, maybe there's an additional step that you need to take as far as naming guardians to your children, putting specific action items into a trust document. These are all simple steps that you can take. You can go to a couple different places to get them done. You can go online. You can do things like LegalZoom, Estate and Will. There's different softwares, but ultimately, I'm a big fan of working with a local attorney. I'm a big fan of supporting local. But there is software, there are do-it-yourself software, there's things like that you can do it yourself. But just know this, just like DIY financial planning isn't the same as working with a financial planner, DIY estate planning is not going to be the same as working with estate attorney. So if you don't have these documents yet, or if it's been years since you've reviewed them, you may want to go ahead and take that action. Use this use this podcast as leverage and as a motivator for you to go and get those documents done, because ultimately we don't know what is around the corner. So start today. Your future self and your family, they will thank you. I can assure you of that. So we'll see you in the next episode.